летной ночь сказочной.
Very beautiful summer night.
Cool.
Как в детстве под этого звука мы засыпали.
Like in childhood.
Под этого звука в юности страдали о непонятном любви, которого ты ждешь.
And after that in first love.
Под этого звука мы детей впервые в руках держали.
After that our first children.
И под этого звука мы сейчас встречаем свой возраст. И вот сейчас в окружении близких моих людей здесь сижу.
And now we meet our...
Maintenant, nous rencontrons
Okay, so we're ready to start. So, Jana, please.
Okay, say, say me 1, 2, 3.
Okay, starting in 3. We're live now, so please start now.
Just now.
3. Okay.
Здравствуйте, дорогие друзья, те, кто нас слушает из разных концов мира. Сегодня мы участвуем в очень красивом и знаменательном событии, которое принесет большую пользу мира. За то, что объединяются много людей, которые живут в разных точках земного шара. Те, у кого разные национальности, вера, религия, философия, навыки. Сегодня мы вместе будем свидетелями разговора двух великих личностей, учителей, авторов книг и семинаров, двух великих человек, которые с раннего возраста стали гражданами мира. Они изменили к лучшему жизнь многих людей, помогли изменить то, что им мешает, найти себя, вылечиться от болезней и от одиночества. Они написали совместную книгу, которая 3 года спасает от ошибок многих читателей в разных странах. Их книги, бестселлеры, переведены почти на все языки, издаются и переиздаются более 25 лет. Оба они родились 17 числа. Один из них родился 17 декабря в Фениксе, Аризона, Америке, а другой родился 17 ноября в Самарканде, в Узбекистане. Дамы и господа, 17 число – это специальное...
Alors, vous êtes bien sur la chaîne en français et nous allons avoir une traduction bientôt en français.
Это великие необыкновенные люди Geshe Michael Roach и Mirzakarim Norbekov. Каждый из них шел по своей дороге в жизни и был ведомым духом. Один стал первым в мире носителем звания Геше в буддизме, а другой стал дервишем в суфийской тарикате Нашбандия. Оба с любовью к жизни зашли в миллионы домах своими книгами, знаниями, которыми они делаются бескорыстно, со всей чистотой своего сердца и души. Оба знакомы тысячам и тысячам людей в мире, от Америки до Японии и от Швеции до Африки. Они выступают в тысячных залах по всему миру и вдохновляют, поднимают дух у всех участников их семинаров, мастер-классов, клубов, индивидуальной встречи. Судьба давно их познакомила, чтобы, объединившись, они показали всем нам смысл жизни с разных сторон с точки зрения одного ламы и одного дервиша. Они учат нас, что служение другим – это самое красивое и мощное орудие добро и света, что нам надо достойно и красиво жить, радоваться и творить, ребята. В 2014 году они познакомились. Они встретились в Софии, Болгария, Вы знаете, что София это значит мудрость. Они встретились в городе мудрости. Потом они встретились в Москве, затем в Ташкенте и издали общую книгу «20 ошибок, которые нам не надо повторять». И из этой книги мы знаем, как они встретились и познакомились. Такие великие души, наверное, знают друг друга изначально, а просто физически встречаются, чтобы мы могли за ними следовать и учиться у них. И сегодня мы встречаем их с радостью в этом виртуальном зале, с любовью и трепетом, ожидая сегодняшней встречи, которую мы назвали «Ошибки после кризиса», что люди обычно забывают сделать, когда они испытывают страх и неопределенности. Спасибо вам, Geshe Michael Roach и Mirzakarim Norbekov, от имени всех ваших читателей, от имени всех ваших слушателей по всему миру, от всех нас, которые мы сейчас за экраном ждем встречи с вами. Спасибо вам и спасибо ученикам Мирзакарима Санакуловича Вадим Шишкин, который нашел первой книгу «Алмазный огранчик», дал мне, и потом все это пошло и получилось. Спасибо вам, дамы и господа. Встречаем Geshe Michael Roach и Mirzakarim Norbekov.
Майкл,
Yeah,
с вас начнем?
thank you.
С вас это,
Oh,
может быть, это кто
it's okay.
первым ответить вопросы к друг другу? Вы предлагайте. Пожалуйста.
I think Dr. Norbekov is such a
Je crois que le docteur Norbekov est un tel maître en médecine et j'aimerais lui poser quelques questions.
I think the I think the first question.
La première question est la suivante. Nous avons tous beaucoup de questions pour le docteur Norbekov parce que c'est un grand docteur en médecine, un grand docteur de l'esprit. Et maintenant, je travaille ces jours-ci à préparer son livre pour une publication aux États-Unis. C'est extraordinaire. C'est vraiment extraordinaire et très beau. Je pense que la première question que nous avons tous, c'est quelle est l'idée du docteur Norbekov sur la fin de ce que nous vivons actuellement dans son avis le plus profond. Quand est-ce que tout cela sera fini et quand est-ce que nous serons libres de ce virus?
Я попытаюсь по мере возможности ответить. По мере возможности. Если у человека отсутствует память, то
что с ним происходит?
вот
Представьте себе, что человек
у него начисто отсутствует память. Он не помнит ничего с момента рождения до этого утра. Он не помнит, он все, что знает, и знает свое имя, знает чего-то. Все. Вы согласны, что это болезнь? У человека тяжелая форма амнезии. На сегодняшний момент любое плохое имеет что-то хорошее зерно. Любая хорошая имеет что-то очень плохое зерно. То, что приносит самое большое счастье, одновременно является источником несчастья. За это время мы со многими людьми общаясь, вы тоже общаетесь, Майкл, я тоже общаюсь, и анализируем, назад смотрим. Вот на сегодняшний момент, что мы видим? Огромное количество, миллиарды людей, которые стали наркоманами к тем ценностям, которые были они привязаны. Привязанность к деньгам, привязанность к вещам, привязанность к тем ценностям, которые называются образование, карьера, дом и атрибутика. То есть последние годы с каждым десятилетием больше храмы опустошались. В Европе во многих храмах это уже стали концертные залы. Днем храм, вечером ночной клуб. Как один священник посмеялся, он сказал, днем работаю священником, вечером в том же ночном клубе диджеем. Одним словом, духовность свое место начал отдавать к чему? Низменным потребностям. Мир потребительства. Все друг друга гоняли. Больше чего? Вот то, что все бегут, я тоже туда бегу. Потеря головы. Элементарной потери головы. Все гоняются за чем-то. На вопрос. Для чего? Чтобы стать счастливым. А для чего ты хочешь быть счастливым? Через какой-то инструмент. Наркоман. Наркотик, прямое химическое счастье. Другой через какой-то миллиарды, миллионы. Через какие-то яхты, самолеты и тогда прочее. Или одним словом, счастье это вот здесь находится. Счастье это вот здесь находится. А почему ты через другие инструменты хочешь постичь счастье? Это желание, это твои. Вот это страхи, это твои. Вот этот ненависть, это твои. Нет, это программа. Вот на сегодняшний день какое-то государство обвиняет какое-то государство. Это. Всплеск внутренних ненависти мы замечаем. Но одновременно тихо изнутри мы ощущаем состояние комфорта, душевного комфорта, состояние, что мы скучаем. О близких мы скучаем. О тех людей, которых не видели много лет. Мы начали помнить. Мы начали анализировать. Мы начали чувствовать. Вот скажите, пожалуйста, Майкл, мы сколько лет знакомы? Именно во время карантина мы захотели друг друга увидеть. Именно во время карантина мы начали тянуться друг к другу. Разве не так? Значит, если посмотреть в историю, теперь о памяти, у меня возникает вопрос, не надо кого-то обвинять. 1220 год, какие болезни были распространены?
1220, the year 1220. Different
1920, опять же, этот коронавирус было 100 лет тому назад. Это назывался испанка. Миллионы людей погибли. Не кажется ли очень странное совпадение? Каждые 110 лет происходит вспышкой болезни. Память очень часто не дает человеку делать что опасное. шаги. Детские падения тебя не допускают прыгать с высоты Эвереста вниз головой. Память. Любая большая проблема мирового уровня у людей начинает направлять внутрь. Любая колоссальная война, создаваемая людьми, примитивными людьми, одичавшими людьми, дошедшие до уровня животного, приводит после таких больших взаиморазрушительных войн рассвет духовности. Рассвет духовности, рассвет любви, уважения к друг другу. Мы в данный момент, чаще всего большинство людей уже тянутся. Те, которые десятилетиями или годами не звонили своим родственникам во время карантина, чуть ли не каждый день, как вы живете, чем вы дышите, нужна ли какая-то помощь. Мы сейчас заметили, люди тянутся друг к другу. У людей чувственная, духовная тяга очень большая становится. Дай Бог, чтобы это было постоянной. Пусть будет самые наихудшие потери в этом столетии. Пусть это будет самые тяжелые дни в этом столетии, чтобы мы поняли. Когда мы были свободны, мы не тянулись друг к другу. Когда мы потеряли свободу путем карантина, мы тянемся друг к другу. Так что могу сказать так, для тех, которые жив-здоров перешли через этот коронавирус, я вас всех поздравляю с началом нового духовного витка в этом жизни. Путь любви, путь искренности, путь внимания. Многие из нас впервые столкнулись с таким чувством. Ты хочешь каждого человека, с которым в своем жизни встретился, и есть что-то хорошее, память о них, ты хочешь у них увидеть воочию, что-то ласковое, что-то хорошее сказать, если есть возможность в чем-то им быть полезным. Это испытывает почти 90% людей. Значит, Майкл, я вас поздравляю с новым началом нового витка. Мир уже не будет иным. Неправильно я сказал. Мир уже не будет прежним. Очень многие люди, которые жили как белка в этом колесе, в городах, они уходят в деревни. Они не хотят возвращаться. Огромное количество людей почувствовали, что такое быть свободным от насаждаемой потребительства, от насаждаемой из окружающего мира. Бери, купи, ты должен это взять, ты должен это купить, ты должен это делать, ты должен вот так поступать, ты должен вот это. Люди начали просыпаться. Они встретились, наконец-то, хоть на короткое время, человеком, которого искали столько лет, но не могли найти. Они встретились с самим собой. Многие встретились ужасом никчемное существование, ужасом пустое времяпрепровождения, ужасом с много потерянных лет. Многие люди многие люди наконец-то хоть на пару месяцев, на месяц встретились с самим собой. Так что со свиданием, наконец-то нахождением друг друга. Но коронавирус, она никуда не уйдет. Просто человечество свою коллекцию иммунитета будет добавлять еще один коронавирус, потому что коронавирус, их ассортимент огромное количество, они с нами живут, процветают. И произошла такая мутация, которая происходит каждые 100 лет. Это связано с солнечной активностью, потому что не только Земля крутится вокруг себя, вокруг Солнца, и Солнце, галактика тоже крутится. И когда эта зона галактики в течение 100 лет попадает в какую-то территорию, там что-то происходит, и многие вещи будут происходить. Скажем, типа мутации тоже. Я хотел бы очень много на такие вещи говорить, но у нас время ограничено. Вот я хотел бы больше от вас услышать. Зачем мои глупые слова слышать, Майкл? Я хочу вас послушать. Ваше мнение. И я свои вопросы передал Жанне. Пусть Жанна вам передаст ваши взгляды на этот вопрос. Я когда сюда смотрю, здесь у меня монитор, на мониторе вижу ваше лицо. А то получается, что когда я на камеру смотрю, у вас возникает ощущение, что на вас смотрю, когда сюда. Да. Ваши взгляды.
Okay. Well, I'm curious. Dr. Norbekov's first question was, how do you see the world healing itself from all the fear and panic inside everybody's mind and body now? And I don't know
Comment est-ce que vous voyez le
what's
monde
happening
guérir? Je ne sais pas ce
in
qui se
other
passe.
countries.
Je ne sais
But I live in a small town, and we also have fear.
Nous avons aussi beaucoup de craintes. Au début, tout le monde était très... Et dans les nouvelles, quand j'écoute les nouvelles, et je commençais à écouter les nouvelles tous les jours, et ces nouvelles me rendaient encore plus anxieux. Et puis, petit à petit, dans mon pays, les gens ont commencé à être très fatigués de ce virus, et nous avons envoyé des masques. Nous en avons envoyé 5000, pratiquement 5000, à des moines tibétains, et c'était très difficile. C'était très difficile de les envoyer, de les faire passer à travers la douane, et finalement ils sont arrivés au monastère. Je les ai appelés après une semaine et je leur ai dit comment sont les masques, et ils nous ont répondu on vous est très reconnaissant que vous avez envoyé pour 5000. Donc tout le monde porte les masques, c'est bien. Non. Et ils ont répondu non, ça nous fatigue, c'est pas très pratique, c'est pas très confortable. Et en fait, on préfère ne pas porter de masque. Mais merci de les envoyer. Dans mon pays, tout le monde avait très peur au début, et puis nous avons un petit café dans ma petite ville. C'est une petite ville c'est une petite ville et j'ai acheté un café et le manager, je lui ai demandé, s'il vous plaît, portez un masque quand vous servez les clients. Et l'autre jour, je suis allé au café et elle ne portait pas de masque. Et je lui ai demandé: «Mais pourquoi est-ce que vous ne portez pas de masque?» Et elle a répondu: «Mais vous savez, il y a une chance sur 100 simplement pour que je meure». Et donc, je pense que la crainte dans mon pays, les gens, plus j'étudie le livre du docteur Norbekov et j'étudie votre livre, je le prépare pour la publication aux États-Unis. Le docteur Norbekov parle beaucoup de cette grande idée que dans notre vie, les entreprises nous demandent d'acheter beaucoup de choses. Vous devez acheter ci, vous devez acheter cela. Et si vous achetez ci, achetez encore. Et tout à coup, pendant cette période du virus, on ne pouvait plus acheter plus rien. Et on ne peut pas aller nulle part, on ne peut pas aller. Et le docteur Norbekov nous parle à quel point à quel point on se sent mieux, qu'on n'est plus à, qu'on n'est plus à acheter quoi que ce soit, on n'a pas la meilleure voiture, plus personne ne s'en soucie, on n'a pas à s'inquiéter d'avoir à acheter quelque chose. On ne s'inquiète plus de la dernière nouveauté électronique, on n'a pas à avoir cette crainte. Ce que j'aimerais, ce que le docteur Norbekov a dit, me semble très juste et je me sens, très soulagé que je n'ai plus à acheter quoi que ce soit je n'ai pas à aller à la boutique, je n'ai pas à aller à faire des courses pendant 2 mois. Et je dois aussi dire au docteur Norbekov qu'en Amérique, nous ne sommes pas comme dans l'Ouzbékistan. Nous ne nous n'avons Je n'ai jamais vraiment rencontré mes voisins, je vis au même endroit et je n'ai jamais rencontré les gens qui vivent juste à côté de chez moi. Nous n'avons jamais de conversation et pendant le virus, petit à petit, on a commencé à se rencontrer et maintenant partout aux États-Unis, nous sommes comme un petit village, nous 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 parlons tous, nous faisons tous attention les uns aux autres. Et donc ma prochaine question, docteur Norbekov, comment garder ce sentiment? Comment garder ce sentiment, cette crainte, d'avoir un comment garder ce sentiment avec mes voisins? Comment maintenir cette, liberté de ne plus avoir à consommer? Comment est-ce que je peux Comment est-ce qu'on peut maintenir ce progrès qu'on a fait pendant le virus?
Будет сохраняться. Потому что янь и инь, который вы прекрасно знаете, вот этот вначале был страх у людей, потому что непривычность. Ну, на одном примере могу ли я рассказать? Один из моих внуков очень любил сосать большой палец. Он научился. Мы ему давали пустышку, соску детскую. Отбрасывает, пальцы сосет. Все, что пробовали, он пристрастился к большому пальцу. Мы его мазали и перцем чили. Все бесполезно. Но когда-то однажды он освободился. И когда мы говорим, ты помнишь, вот это, что ты пальцы сосал? Он говорит, нет, ты истерику катал, ты плакал. Мы привязывали твои руки перчатки. Ты скандалы устраивал, ты хотел этот палец. Он не помнит. Он не помнит, это слезы, он не помнит, это скандалы. Но мы-то помним, взрослые. Она будет забываться. Она будет забываться. Все еще раз волна насаждаемых ценностей будут. Потому что вечные животные инстинкты, которые кормят наш ум разными информациями, которые приобретают истинную ценность. С другой стороны, душевное состояние, которое говорит, не в этих ценностях, какого цвета твоей туалетной бумаги, не в этом ценности, какого размера твой телевизор, а ценность, состояние в твоем душе находится, она будет как волна в океане. Как волна в океане. Сейчас мы с вами испытываем ренессанс взаимоотношений людей. Ренессанс более открытый. Вы сами сказали, лет 10 вы с соседями не общались. Это нормальное состояние во многих европейских странах. Даже здесь, когда мы без друг друга не можем просто без встречи с друг другом, без общения с друг другом, пройденный день, это пустое. Прожитый день считается. Даже здесь пошел огромный скачок. Вот, например, недавно в Узбекистане была такая большая проблема. Водохранилище, там плотина прорвало. Слава Создателю, что жертв был очень мало, но не бывает маленький, одна жертва или миллион жертв. Все они одинаковые, тягостно. Что случилось? Народ поднялся, начал собирать средства для той местности. И что? Такого подъема человечности, такого подъема доброты, желания помочь, чтобы никто тебя не видел, никто не обязательно не должен знать, а вот от души. Мой отец всегда говорил, когда ты делаешь правой рукой добро, пусть твоя левая рука не будет свидетелем. И места, где принимали помощь, пункт приема помощи от населения, туда, они начали истошно молиться. Пожалуйста, у нас все машины без остановки уходят, места нет. Люди по несколько километров стояли в очередь, кто одеждами, кто финансами, кто постель, но все никто никого не агитировал, никто никого не просил. Народ так поднялся. Я такого не помню. Духовности, человечности. Совершенно незнакомые люди.
People who didn't know each other would wake up in the middle of the night. They would take things, some humanitarian help, some humanitarian goods, and they would go stand in a row of cars and buses just to give this something to help people who were actually affected by this event. And we can see it happening all around the world. Indeed. And I'm saying once again, in every good deed, there is...
В некоторых странах, в некоторых городах. Это, знаете что,
比如说有一些
белым
and so on.
пятничком.
So once again, it's yin yang. So it's white part always has this black dot, and black part always has this white dot. There are exclusions, but the general rule is that people, for example, are running out of money. But as long as they're running out of money, they are actually gathering more humanity. But before that, we could see people were filling up their fridges with goods.
Yeah.
They were filling up their pockets with money, but they were running out of their spirituality, which means, Michael, if we see such an obstacle on our path, we cannot see each other, we cannot meet each other. Unfortunately, many people died in the world, but it's not the nuclear war.
Mhm.
Yes, I told my son that the world was getting closer to the nuclear war. People were trying to show who actually has bigger arsenal of nuclear weapons. But the God actually made people sit back in their homes. The God said that everybody should calm down, and those people who were actually were willing to attack each other with nuclear weapons have become much more calm. So I would like to say that coronavirus is just one more sickness. And this coronavirus has been advertised very good.
Yeah.
Nothing is that simple. Mass media have become experts on all the matters, especially if we're talking about medicine. And it looks strange when virusologists are telling you one thing and all the journalists are telling you completely other thing. And you're asking yourself, is this person the PhD? The one who has 3 days of experience of this field, or somebody else? So, Michael, let me give you the floor. People from the East, so to say, are only glad to brag about things and to nag you about something. So we are not that concise as you are.
I have another question for Dr. Norbekov.
Как вы видите,
In my, everybody around me, and I think around the world, our income is affected. We got used to having an income, and then the virus started, and many of us lost a big part of our income. And now we are thinking, we are like in America, we just decided we don't want to think about the virus anymore. People are going to restaurants, and people are going back to hotels, and people are going back to the seashore. And actually the virus is still here, but everyone is tired to think about it. But the income is less. And then I find myself in my own heart, I find some worry come about the income, and some selfish thought come about the income. So usually I really enjoy to give money to charity. I enjoy, we are supporting refugees for almost 35 years. And I love to give money. I enjoy giving money everywhere. And then suddenly, because of the virus, I caught this feeling in my heart, you know, oh, for the first time in my adult life, maybe I'm thinking, oh, maybe I won't have enough, you know, maybe I should stop giving to other people so much, you know, I should be more careful. For the first time, I made a budget about my life, you know, I never made a budget in my whole life. And now I'm like, how much money I have and how much do I spend? And then I start to notice in my own heart this fear about money and also selfishness. For the first time, I think, in my life, I thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't give so much money, or maybe it's not a good idea to give the money. But I think in all spiritual paths around the world, every spiritual path, they teach the same idea, you know, that the more generous you are, then the more God will give you, you know. So my question to Dr. Norbekov, how to stop this little demon in my heart, this new devil in my heart. And he says, oh, maybe we don't have enough money. Maybe we shouldn't be so generous during this time. You know, how can we fight with this new demon in everybody's heart that says, oh, maybe Michael, you won't have enough money. Maybe you shouldn't be so generous right now. So at the time, we are supposed to do zakat, right? At the time when I should do zakat, now my heart is telling me, oh, maybe it's enough. Maybe you should wait. Maybe you can give later. So how to fight with this new devil in the heart? That's my question for Dr. Norbekov.
You know, I want to have some suggestion from you, and you're asking some suggestion from me. I thought I was trickier than that. I know you, Michael. I know that you have been studying for 25 years. And you have started your business with only $5 in the pocket. I know that you are not addicted to money. I know it well. However, each of us has responsibilities towards ourselves. Basically, we got this body for a rent. So it's a loaned body. So we're going to use it for some limited time. And it means that we need to provide this body with something that it requires. Secondly, so once again, we loaned our close ones as well. This
если у нас есть возможность, нам надо им помочь. Нам помочь. Не вредя себе, не нанося себе.
Without making ourselves the victim of their demand and requirement. Russian has wonderful saying. Do not give a fish to a person, but teach him how to fish. There are places which you need to give money to. I'm talking about people who are unable to earn themselves to feed their families and so on. So these could be the children and so on. But the grown-ups should be taught to analyze the situation. Just like when you are walking down from the plane. So please tell us, so how many years have you been in a temple with $5 and then you started your business? Did you get any money from anybody? This experience, this start, which actually was the beginning of your work, maybe you should share this experience with everybody else. Many years ago, I would like to share my experience in short as well, if you don't mind. Many years ago, I told my teacher, "Dear master, I brought this amount of money before that, so these were the dollars. And right now I will need this amount of $100 bills. And this amount is growing all the time. Each 2 months, I need to give this money." People were meeting me in the airport, so 3 people would meet me in the airport, then 20 people, then 30 people would meet me in the airport. Basically, they see me as a wallet, a walking wallet, which shares money. What should I do? So I give them money. They are not working. After they saw that I can give them money, they're sitting back home. Then I said that's ask. Then he said that ask them $100 each. If you give $10,000 to each person for some help, it's not a loan, but if you just give it. So ask those people if they can give you $100 back, and if they give it back, you should remember them. So if you will get rid of those who are not giving this money. So this is a working mechanism. Those people who asked me for money, I would ask back for $100, and I would give them 3 chances. And you won't even imagine how many people who were asking actually forgot my life and me. So basically, I have been saving their money for so many years. Helping a weak person is destroying this person. Sometimes this help and aid is just like a push from an executioner who is pushing the chair on the gallows pole. Because the strong person is becoming even stronger when he is aided, but a weak person is going to be destroyed by aid. My teachers have always told me, do not reject if somebody is asking for your help. But when a person is coming back to you once again, think, but do not reject. Do not give the money, so do not loan this money. If you want to get rid of a person, you loan this money, then he's going to disappear indeed. So you should study what a person has achieved. And if he hasn't achieved anything, so you should reject him. Michael, I know that hundreds of millions of money have been given by you to people around the world. And in this case, I say you should keep some money for a plate of pasta. So that I am sure that people of your kind are not going to be experience financial problems only because of one simple fact, because you have something which many people lack. Few people do have this something. These are your friends.
Десятки тысяч, миллионы друзей со всего мира. Но если вдруг что-то, как-то, чего-то,
If something happens, I say, come to us. In Uzbekistan, in Kazakhstan, in our countries, people they are saying that in Kyrgyzstan as well, people are not dying from hunger because you cannot be a bum here. Everybody is inviting you to their home. So you are knocking on somebody's door and a person is actually inviting you in and giving you food. So you have been to our country, you have seen it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So if we have a chance, we should help. But the most important is that you have experience, you have smarts, you have wisdom. I would like to point out one mistake made by Жанна. Жанна said that I am a great person. But I'm not a great person. Michael is a great person. He's sitting right in front of me.
No.
Also, you said about my school. No, it's not. It's not about schooling. I'm not in any Sufi schools. I am related to them as a scientist, which learns techniques, approaches, and so on. I respect all the schools. I respect all the methods and approaches. And I am studying the inner strength from all of these schools. Michael, you remember when for the first time, when I told you that you should write 2 double digits, and if the person is going to enter, you are going to ask them these digits. And you remember that we had coinciding digits.
Yeah, yeah.
And
You know that?
the lady which came was actually your assistant.
Yeah.
And then I told you, Michael, I have a problem. And just like I saw these numbers, which are going to be told by the person in 5 minutes who is actually going to enter the room. I haven't seen this person. Just the same, I saw the book, which was written by 2 of us in a year. I saw it in my mind. So that was the meeting of 2 of us. I would like to say, Michael, you're a great person. But great persons are having great challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Because great challenges are coming in order for them to be high up, to be clear. If we wouldn't have these challenges, just like this coronavirus and things like that, the people would not have the willingness to see something good. They would not be willing to achieve spirituality, humanity, and we can see it all around the world. I have a question to you.
Okay.
When are we going to meet together anywhere in the world? Anywhere.
I would love to. But I have another proposal, which you know, which is I would really like to do some, maybe 3 or 4 online programs together with you. And I think it would be very nice, you know. You're like my 10-year neighbor, who I am talking to finally. And so I would like to do some programs with you, if it's possible.
4 занятия очень мало. Мы сегодня
3 or 4 sessions are not going to be enough. Right now we are practicing. So the world is actually going into the internet, and it's irreversible indeed. It cannot be reversed. But there is beauty in it. Because before that, I would need to go to the airport to meet you. I would need to fly 10 or 15 hours. I would be tired. I would be angry. I would come to you. Or vice versa, you would come to us. So right now you are sitting back there in Arizona, I'm sitting here, and we can see each other. It means that's just the same. can be said about our pupils, our students. I love my students. You love your students. Let us gather them. You have your life experience and you can have something to share with them.
Mhm.
You should understand that few people can actually have $5 and create their own just empire, so to say, out of thin air, out of these $5.
Mhm.
This is the genius ability to see
Mhm.
opportunities, unlimited opportunities. Many people do not see those opportunities. They are suffering. They are saying that they are, oh, everything is so bad. I cannot see how to exit this situation and so on. And you will share your ideas about escaping those situations. So, for example, I can share myself, some experience myself. I am uniting successful people for 25 years as well. And those people have started with nothing in their pockets. And some of them are already having empires of billions of dollars. We still have something to share with them. We can tell them things. For this reason, we, those who are older, have actually lived their lives. So things which are unknown to the age are unknown to angels. This is the saying. So 3 or 4 sessions are going to be too little because you have tremendous experience and you have a lot to share. 3 or 4 years is going to be demanded to share this experience. So don't be that greedy. We should make more sessions. Well, we will see how many of those should be given and done. Right now, we're just talking to each other.
Yeah.
And next time,
Yeah.
maybe we should give advice to our listeners, to our viewers who are simply watching right now.
Yeah.
Yes, our views can be too old for them, for some of them. Some people would think that it's strange, but based upon your strange advice, based upon my stupid advice, so many billionaires actually rose up. And I am really sure that there has to be a coach to any person. I would like to be, just like an athlete, I would like to be your student.
Mhm.
Because, let's say Mike Tyson or John Johnson, they are the best. However, they always have a coach.
Mhm.
Because there has to be a coach in any possible field. Let us open some mutual virtual gym, and we are going to train people here.
Cool.
And let's train champions here. So what do you think about it?
I like it. Many people ask me a question. They said, you and Dr. Norbekov, when you wrote your book together, you didn't give positive advice. You just talk about your mistakes, So many people ask me, when you and Dr. Norbekov, you met together in Tashkent, and you talked that Dr. Norbekov's family gave us a beautiful meal there, very, very beautiful meal, and a beautiful evening together. And we discussed how to write the book. And Dr. Norbekov, I don't remember how we decided, but we decided to write about our mistakes. and we decided not to write about the good things we did. And I don't remember why. What are we thinking? Do you remember, Dr. Norbekov? I don't remember. Is it better to teach mistakes first?
Я тут отсутствие поражения
Lack of defeat
For the Rumi question or break?
в лучшем случае успех. Когда мы убираем зоны ошибок,
remove our mistakes.
в худшем случае обречены на успех.
In the worst case scenario, we are going to be successful, but in the best one, it's going to be something more.
Мы хотим
In most of the cases,
получить чего-то от жизни,
we want to get something from life
восполнить внутренние пустоты.
and feel
О том, что
some
в нашем доме
blank spaces in our lives.
и вся тепло дома
But we shouldn't forget that our house is actually having a hole and the warmth is actually going out of the house. And you can spend tons of money to
не станет теплее.
warm up the house, but the house has a hole and it's not going to be warm if it has a hole.
Откуда уходят наши силы,
That is why we should close the
закапываться друг другу с плечом.
gaps which actually
Ошибок
siphon the strength from ourselves, even if we're just simply hugging each other. So there are going to be mistakes,
в сегодняшний момент.
and there are lots of mistakes all of us make.
Высоты видите,
You yourself
совершает.
can see how many people make mistakes. I see some mistakes that people are actually being made by people, but everybody wants to have success,
Почему
to achieve success. But people are not asking themselves, why am I not achieving success?
и шаг? Есть слово осел на английском языке как? А? Donkey? Вот это слово осел
So this donkey
обозначение.
has two meanings in Uzbek. A donkey
Осел.
and ass.
Почему? Первый, который осел.
So the first one
Четыре ноги,
has 4 legs, 4 hoofs,
две ноги.
and another one has 2 legs. But it sounds just the same, basically. Just one word for 2 different notions.
Знаете, когда осла привязывают за ноги
And
к какому-то кустику,
when a donkey is being roped to a bush,
он будет тянуться куда-то.
he's going to reach for some place if he wants to drink, but he doesn't look at what is actually holding him.
Но если у него
The donkey might die, but if it would think, it would just bite the rope and get, or maybe tear out this bush and get to his dream. But the donkey is actually trying to reach something, but without even getting rid of the obstacle. And sometimes we also want to get someplace, but we do not understand what is the reason why we are failing at doing it. What have we started with, you and me?
первые какие-то курсы,
We had first.
беседы. Давайте, Майкл, с моей стороны предлагаю
So I have a suggestion.
внимание наших слушателей,
Let us
где
speak
они ошибки совершают.
about the mistakes during the first meetings, those online meetings. So for them to clear those mistakes, to understand what they're doing wrong, then we would have your recommendations. Then we would have my recommendations.
Майкл, сегодня, заметьте, я
Michael,
много болтаю.
today I'm speaking a lot.
Очень много болтаю.
I'm speaking so much, and I'm hoping
Получить от вас
that in the future I would get some information from you with the added value, so to say.
Yeah.
So we suggest to make a little break.
Yeah. How long? 10-minute break?
Did you have your breakfast? It's 10-minute break.
I got a
15 minutes.
virus tummy. Too big.
So you should have a little breakfast and we will have a little just dinner.
Okay, 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And then we take questions from the audience. Okay. Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Майкл, у меня будет к вам большая просьба.
Michael, I'm going to have a little
Как вы видите
request. How do you see our future lessons?
то есть наш виртуальный,
I mean, our virtual gym,
наш виртуальный,
our virtual stadium,
скажем,
our virtual, let's say, space
чемпионов.
where we will prepare champions. So,
Будем приглашать,
what parameters should be used to invite them?
тренировать.
How should we train them?
На голова хорошо.
Because one head is a good thing,
Когда
but
смотрим, я вижу,
one head always sees only one side, and you are going to look from the other side,
проблему
Yeah.
and we will see each
со всех сторон.
challenge from all the sides and all the views, and it's going to be much easier
Близких тренировать.
for us to train our closed ones.
Мнение, ваши взгляды.
So your ideas, your views on this,
Там что
Shall we do now?
готовится
because we need to prepare ourselves for this.
Shall we talk about it afterwards?
It's going to be the new formula of trainings,
обучение.
new form of teaching our close ones,
Потому что наш клуб тоже,
because our club is currently
наш бизнесменов объединили
the club of businessmen,
виртуальную территорию.
is uniting.
С нами вместе.
We have the virtual space for them, and they're actually watching us as well. So, do you have your ideas? What are your views?
I've been speaking my whole life. I've been teaching for most of my life. And so I think every athlete, every coach also has some strength, and every coach has some weakness. And I'm hoping that there are many things I would like to learn from Dr. Norbekov about teaching. So I think if I teach with another person, then especially from a completely different culture and a rich culture and an ancient culture, then I think I can also improve myself as a teacher. So that's the big thing I'm hoping for. I think I tend to talk a lot, and I don't listen enough, according to my partner, and Veronica. And so I think I'm hoping that I can improve as a teacher, and I think maybe together we are stronger than alone. And I'm hoping maybe right now we could take questions, for example, from the audience, and we will each answer in a different way, and I think it will be very rich. It will be, yeah.
Can I ask you?
Yes, please.
I'll,
And Jana, please, you choose which one of us you want. You know both of us, and thank you very much for bringing us together. And maybe you decide, oh, this question is good for Mr. Norbekov, or this question is good for Geshe. You decide, okay?
No, Geshe, I prefer to have the two opinions of of the questions. Okay, we can start with questions from the audience. First one is how to have discipline, enthusiasm, and drive to get things done. I think it's very important questions.
So I was thinking about this question to ask Dr. Norbekov. Because I thought, because I work so hard and I do so many things, I thought maybe I'm a very active person and I'm not lazy. Everyone says I work very hard. Then during the virus, when we had many hours to do things, I found out I was very lazy, and I was pretty shocked. I never watched Netflix in my life, And now every night I have to watch a little bit. And then it became more and more. And suddenly I find I have trouble to get things done, because I have too much time. So I felt like I had to start over again and find my discipline. And so what I think is, for example, with meditation, I had trouble to keep up even a minimum meditation every day. I found myself, I have trouble to do it. And so I went on the YouTube and I looked at videos by this guy named Geshe Michael. And I listened to those videos, and he told me, start with 10 minutes every day. If you want to make a habit, start with 10 minutes, just 10 minutes of meditation. Anybody can do 10 minutes. And then once a week, like on Saturday or Sunday, you increase by 1 minute. So next week, you will go to 11 minutes of meditation. And then 1 week more, you go to 12 minutes of meditation. And it sounds too slow. It sounds like it's too lazy. But suddenly you are doing 1 hour of meditation. So I think that's very helpful. Start with something very, very small. In English, we call ridiculously small. Like too stupid small. Start with something small and then increase 1 minute every week. And in this way, now the virus is almost finished in America. I'm just starting to get good habits. Now they will collapse. What does Dr. Norbekov think? Is that his cricket?
Yes.
Good.
Вы заметили, я только что нашел
Have you
свою
noticed? I've actually found the opposite side of me on all the characteristics. I'm talking about characters as well. So if you take a look down on the floor, back there on the other side of the globe, your humble servant. So you have morning, we have night. I know that you are always right on time. So you train yourself all the time. So you are going to the gym. And I was amazed. So you are like a tree. So you are really straight. You can see I have a belly, so I'm not going to the gym. It means that I can teach our athletes in business to become absolutely lazy, to be in totally relaxed state, a relaxation of a tiger, a relaxation of a puma, a relaxation of the panther. But when this this animal really needs it, this cheetah can become speedy. So the techniques of your trainings. So take a look, you are creating a sense of immersion when you are meditating. So you are immersing into it when you are meditating. Full relaxation and calmness inside. Although on the outside, you are creating some strict system of things. And me, as your humble servant, I am always relaxed on the outside, fully relaxed. Once in Germany, I was asked, can you tell us about the Uzbek character? And I said, it's simple. So, for example, people are saying that you Germans are always right on time, and so on. Of course, they would say, no, not always. But we would say, okay, if somebody arranges a meeting with you at 12 and he comes at 12:30, then basically this person is going to apologize for this, and I would ask, okay, and once again, so, and for the third time, how are you going to treat this person? And the German would say, I will not work with this person. And I would say, great. For us, an Uzbek who comes on time is a German. So when he says we will meet at 12, and he would call you later and say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not going to meet you today, so let's try it tomorrow, and so on. That is okay for us. So you can see the Uzbek and German characters are different, but they, in a way, fill each other's gaps. It's like plus and minus on the polarity. So on the outside, we are relaxed. On the outside, we are not thinking about, we're not caring for things, we're not looking at the timetable and so on. But inside, we are actually really concentrated. There are technologies to concentrate, to do light training, and it is usually being done in a natural state. So in a way, you are mentally speaking to the animal world. You are mentally looking at butterflies. You are controlling them in a way, so you can see how they're flying in one direction, in the other. So this is the training, and then you are getting ready after this. And on the inside, you are launching the business processes like this. But there are things which are treated as nonsense in Europe. Many things. So it's weird for me to tell you, Mr. Michael Roach. I would like to say, my dear. So I cannot address you officially like this. It feels too distant from you. So you are a scientist. You are academician of the Eastern cultures, so you can understand me easier, because you yourself have studied many things which are connected with miracles, and these miracles are okay for you. Just imagine telling those things to a European guy. They would say, oh, Michael has gone cuckoo. So, and because they are different in their perception of the world. And I would like to ask you to speak about your technology, what technology, what technique you are using to show this composure of yours, to share this technique. And I will try to tell some story from an asylum, as I call them. So these techniques of our our training, which are seen by many people like this, like something cuckoo. So, and I would play a fool between two of us. I'm going to speak nonsense. But if somebody is going to use this nonsense and would understand that this is a reality, then we're going to go along with these people. And those who are actually treating both of us as some crazy people, so we would simply tell them, we are amazed by you, and let there be healthy people in the world, and let this person be you, and we ourselves will go on with our views on the world. Yoga, for many people, for example, is very important. Many people are unable to find 10 minutes for themselves they can just stick their fingers into their noses and into their ears and do that for many hours, and then run somewhere, sit in the cars and so on. So, but they cannot find 10 minutes for themselves. So there you go. This is one territory for you. I am ready to take upon myself a technology, a story, and a demonstration of how thoughts are materializing. Because I have made a fundamental discovery. I'm not being so modest about this. So I'm talking about the implementation of your thoughts on different destinations and how brains are actually connected with each other. So we know the experiments and the results of how different brains are actually clicking together. So, and in this case, you are going to teach us a technique of this deepest calmness and your personal shining. So where can you buy this inner lamp? So which is helping you to shine. So if you are going to tell us the address, we'll appreciate it a lot. So, but the internal tsunami, so which is going to defeat any obstacles on our ways, how to defeat remove those obstacles with our spirits, is going to be my part, so to say. So, and how to do it without doing anything physically, so to say. So there are people right here, and I call them the students of laziness. So yes, an idler, an idle man. So basically, a lazy person. So, and I'm talking about movement and calmness and movement. So right between these things is actually life. These are two poles, two polarities. So what can you suggest to our idlers, to lazy people who are sitting around me? So what can you suggest to them?
I have an idea. I will ask Jana to ask the next question, and then I will use my technique on it, and then that way I can show my technique. How's that?
Okay, Geshe. Next question is, what is the most important to do to feel good, healthy, happy, and to be successful?
Yeah. So it's impossible for me to give a talk without doing the pen at least once. So
yes,
I have
please.
to apologize.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I have to apologize for doing the pen, but I will do it very short. And also, I'm supposed to thank the staff and the translators at the end of the show, but I'm listening to some of the translators, and I have to say, you guys are amazing. You are super amazing, especially my immediate translator. You are amazing. You guys are incredible. So I just want to thank, I know all of you guys are working this as, to help us for free. And all the staff here, I'm supposed to wait until the end to thank you, but it's amazing. You guys are amazing. And Jana, you're also amazing. And thank you for bringing us together. Okay. My technique about how to be happy. So I teach this in many countries in the world, and this is a demonstration. It's about 2,000 years old, 2,500 years old, and it's always the same. I will hold up a pen. I will hold up this thing, and I will ask you, what is this thing? And Dr. Norbekov asked, what is my technique? My technique is the pen. So if I ask you, what is this thing? Then of course you will say, this is a pen. And then I ask you, if a dog comes in this room and I show this to the dog, what will the dog do? And you can say the dog will bite this thing. And then I will say, does the dog see this as a pen? And you will say, no, they see it as something to chew, And then I will say, who's correct? And you will say, well, the human can write a book about biggest mistakes. The dog can chew it. It's okay. Both is correct. Then if I put this thing on the table, all of us go out. The thing is alone on the table. At that time, what is this thing? And we can say, oh, it's just a black stick or a blue stick. It's nothing. Then if the dog comes in the room back, in that moment, this will become something to chew. And if the human comes in first, in that moment, this will become a pen. So people ask me, they actually get irritated. Dr. Norbekov will understand. If I teach this thing at a second time in a country or third time, people will raise their hand very respectfully. Oh, Geshe Michael, I think you are getting a little bit old. Then I say, why? They say, you forgot you taught this pen last year when you came to our country. You taught about this pen. Then I'll say, no, I'm not getting old. I have to teach it again. And they say, why? And I say, because you didn't understand it. And they say, no, I understood it. I'm clear. I'm clear about it. Because the dog sees a chew toy, because the human sees a pen, it must be coming from me. Somehow, it must be coming from me. So Geshe, I understood last year. You don't have to say again. Then I say, are you financially successful this year? Are you having a good time with your wife or your husband? Are your kids acting very good this year? Are you strong and healthy this year? And they'll say, no. Then I say, okay, then you have to listen to the pen again. I think Dr. Norbekov has this experience. So basically, happiness, good health, financial success, these are coming from us. These are coming from us, and they come from seeds in our mind. And we just have to find out how to plant those seeds. And the only way to plant those seeds is to give some other person what you want. This is the only way to plant a seed in your mind. If I want to see a pen, I don't have choice. In this system, I must help another person. I must give a pen to somebody else. I must help you to get a pen. And doing that will plant a seed in my mind. And then when the seed opens, I will see a pen. And this is very simple. So Dr. Norbekov, for the rest of my life, I just have to hold this up again and again and again. My life is my life is set. What I have to do in my life, I just have to explain this 10,000 more times. And that's all my technique. Dr. Norbekov, what would you tell someone who wants to be happy, they want to be successful? What's the essence of your system?
Пока вы рассказывали,
While you were speaking, while you were showing this pen,
я сегодняшняя беседа со своим средним сыном.
I have remembered
Сейчас в Москве,
my dialogue with my son. So he is in Moscow on lockdown,
за 1 час до нашей встречи.
and I have been talking to him about an hour before our meeting.
Мне
And he said, Dad, I was asked a question. So I had a little group and I was asked a question. For 2 months,
я им рассказывал,
I have been telling them
где есть опасности,
where they can face dangers,
болоты,
the swamps, so to say, which are dragging you down and which are getting you closer to losing.
в конце концов, они
And I have been telling them for 2 months, and I saw that they understood it. And today, I'm reading a book, and I saw a little video about this book, a 1-minute video. I watched it and I was desperate because I have been telling people things for 2 months, and some guy actually did the same in 1 minute, explained everything. So, and I am sad right now because I am not perfect and it makes me sad. And I told him, slow down, son. Wait a bit. Did you see this video before? He says no. And I'm asking, have you read about it? Have you read the book? And he says, maybe yeah. Maybe I saw this video indeed. When did you see it? A year ago or something. And I'm asking him, so? And he says, back then I just didn't see it. I didn't notice it. And I told him, listen carefully. So it was just today, in the evening. And I told him, it took you 2 months to explain using simple words to the same people as you are to explain this notion. You have been repeating one and the same thing during 2 months, and you have gotten up in the way you see the world. And now, after these 2 months, you understood what you actually read and what you saw in this small video. And I told him, remember these golden times. And he asks, which golden times exactly? And I tell him, right now, you are able to speak to the people like you. You are able to bring your ideas to them. You are able to help them. So have your students been aided by what you did? And he says, yes, most of them actually managed to solve their problems. And I say, great, wonderful. You have helped. And the problem is, that people who are like you are going to listen to you in 1 minute. So Michael is watching us right now. Michael is watching all of us right now. So and he's listening. And ladies and gentlemen, please listen to what he's saying. So you shouldn't listen to what I'm saying. So it's not that important. If you want to please me, so then listen to me, of course. So sometimes 1 minute of our conversation has so much emotions, so much experience, so many years of our lives. And in this 1 minute, we try to relate them in simple words. And then all of a sudden, we understand that many people do not understand us. We see that they do not understand us. And I told him, remember, today, when you are ready to spend 2 months of your life to explain a minute of information. So I told my son, my dear son, your resume, 2 months in one direction, 1 minute into other direction. So would you like to hear my resume? He said, yes. And I say, you are ready to study even better. Even better. That is why you should walk along your life path with those people who are going to understand you in 1 minute. And those who do not understand you even in 2 months aren't going to be aided by you. Because a coach is always a library. Michael Roach is a great coach. He is a great scientist. The only European who became the academician
Mhm.
in Buddhism. It's going to be very hard for you, my son, to understand everything what he says at once. Unfortunately, sometimes I see that people are understanding me less and less. So this is the problem, Michael. This is the problem. When we understand, people are not understanding us. When we are ready to make any person successful, we can see a person who is actually so he is actually in a worst situation possible. So, and he's covered with, let's say, mud. So, and you are trying to help him, but he's going to punch you, and he's going to say, "No, I'm okay." So, Michael, we are able to help strong people. We are able to help only those people who have higher demands towards themselves, a higher, let's say, concept of intellect, of their soul, of their spirit, so they can sense deeper than all the rest. And I am in need of hearing your views,
Mhm.
because my son also needs to hear what you think and what you say. I have my youngest son here in this hall right now, so he wants to learn as well. So you know where he wants to study? So he wants to study in MIT.
Wow.
And I told him, so son, have you been to United States? Have you been to this university? And he says, no, I haven't been. And why do you think that it's best? And he says, everybody thinks that it's best. And I tell to him, for you to become the best in the world, you shouldn't, it's not necessary to study in Oxford, in Sorbonne, or whatever, wherever. Everything, the core of your success is inside of you. And I say that me and you should give a try. So you have close ones, I have close ones, we all have our students. I am ready to help your students to take a look at one point of view, to take a look at this diamond from my point of view, and you will help them to look at your point of view. And
Mhm.
honestly, I want my children to, my sons, to be taught by you. They need to be taught by your view, view of the world, so your ideas.
Cool.
I would speak Russian right now because there are some problems with channels. I will ask questions in Russian and I will be translated. So how can we help people
Jana,
in
what's the
order for
question?
them not to, how can we help people in order for them not to be scared? Yes, I'm speaking Russian, then I will speak it, say it in English. How can we help people not to be afraid of the world after pandemic, especially 5G? So what is it? The world is scared of 5G. So, and what is going to be happening after the pandemic? Many people were asking this question.
I think, as I mentioned before to Dr. Norbekov, I think all of us have some fear. I also have some fear at this time. And when I start to have a fear, I think about my teacher. So I lived with my Lama for almost 30 years in the same house. And so when I have some fear, I always think about my teacher. And I think, what would my teacher say? If I say, you know, the future, last year, 2019, the future was pretty clear. I already have my travel schedule for 2020. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I know my income. I know my students. I know what I will teach. So in 2019, I didn't have any fear about 2020. Now in 2020, if you ask me what's my schedule in 2021, where will I be, what will I teach, who will I teach, what will be my income, where will I go, what will happen, I have completely no idea. That's why my first question today to Dr. Norbekov was, what's going to happen in 2021? I also don't know. Then some fear comes up in my mind, and in my mind I asked my teacher. So he passed away in 2004. He was 81 or 82, and I remember I will ask him the question in my heart, and then I will get his answer. And his answer is very clear. It's when you feel afraid about 2021, just think one thing that somebody else needs. Like, think about somebody else, helping somebody else. Think of one other person in the world, and think about what do they need now? What is their need? What do they need emotionally? What do they need financially? Just think about it for 2 minutes, and the fear just goes away completely, So I think every time, all of us, when we feel fear about 2021 or the rest of 2020, the medicine is to just think of somebody else and think about what they need and think about how we're going to help somebody else. And then suddenly you feel very clear and you feel very happy. It sounds it doesn't sound very deep, but actually it's very powerful suggestion. When you feel afraid for about this year or the next year, just tell your mind, talk to your mind, and that's the meaning of meditation. Talk to your own mind and say, no, you think about somebody else for 5 minutes, Just think about somebody else for 5 minutes. Then I promise we can continue with your worries afterwards. You can trick your own mind. Talk to your mind. This is called meditation. So my mind says, I'm afraid about the rest of 2020. I'm super afraid about 2021. And your mind starts blah, blah, blah. I feel afraid. Then talk to your mind. Okay, I understand. It's a very serious thing, It's a big virus. It's affected every person on this planet. I understand you're afraid. It's perfectly correct. You should be afraid. Okay, so just take 5 minute afraid break. For 5 minutes, think about any other person. My dog, I think about my dog for 5 minutes, What does my dog like? What does my dog want for dinner? Just think about anybody else, even dog, for 5 minutes, and then promise your mind, we will worry more later. Don't worry. We will come back to this fear. But just 5 minutes, think about somebody else. And then suddenly all those fears completely disappear. So that's my suggestion. Dr. Norbekov, what's your suggestion for when we feel afraid about the future? I like his cricket.
Я рекомендую бояться еще
What
больше.
I recommend is to be even more afraid, more and more and more, until you piss yourself scared, and then you walk and wash yourself. So, and when the first water flows upon you, so when you feel this first feeling of cleanliness, I recommend this person to remember this, how good it is. Gratitude.
Yeah.
So, my mentor has told me a lot. How wonderful it is. Two different schools, but one and the same idea. So, you are thinking about your mentor. I think about my mentors. So, my mentor was sitting and thinking, and he used to say, what is happiness? Happiness is when you say, praise the Almighty for the fact that I breathe, for the fact that my heart is working, for the fact that I see, for the fact that I hear. So, for everything. If you are blind on one eye, so you should be grateful that one still sees. If your one ear is deaf, you should say, praise the Almighty that the second is hearing. If one leg is not working, be happy for the second working. Because there are people who do not have all those things. The feeling of this life, the life is now. So you should feel your life right now. So this is the happiness. Why should you worry about tomorrow? Tomorrow is going to be another day, is going to be another time. I have another stupid example. So it was described in my book. 3 people are sitting in a metro. One is sleeping, or maybe meditating. Let's say meditating. Another one is looking at the outside world with love. The third one is actually looking at the watch, and he is angry, so he is irritated and he's ready to tear things apart because he's being late somewhere. He's afraid of being late. And I have a question. I always have one and the same question. Which one is going to come first to the next stop? They are going to get there on one time, on one and the same time. So you are absolutely right, Michael. You are absolutely right. Love towards the close ones, thinking about close ones when you are finding the happiness inside of you. So you should share this happiness, and you want to share this happiness because you want other people to be happy as well. So me and you are speaking about one and the same diamond. Why should you torture yourself thinking about what is going to happen in 100 years? Why should we suffer from our fantasies or the fantasies of the journalist, mass media, who are saying that the world will end next year? Michael, please tell me. So, how many times have you heard that next year is going to be the last for the earth? I'm sure that it was at least 10 or 15 times, because I have heard about the end of the world for 10 or 15 times. So the world was preparing itself for this end of the world. Those who are becoming the slaves of the fear, they are waiting for their master. They are waiting for the end of the world. So, my dear friends, my dear close ones, do not make your life a constant end of the world. There will be the end. Definitely. My father, when he was passing away, he was sitting in his bed. He was sitting like this. I was hugging him. I was hugging his shoulders, and I told him, Dad, maybe you should lie down. And my father said, Dear son, you are doing karate. a man, even when he is facing death, shouldn't be lying on his back. I am sitting here, and if my death is coming, I will stand up and follow it. And he said that you should always make yourself say, thanks God, praise the Almighty, the Creator, for, and you should mention all the unlimited opportunities after this for. So, but if you are going to be scared, if you are going to look for a reason to whine, to moan, there will always be a reason to moan and to whine. Because happiness and sadness are just the same things. It depends on the view, where you look at it, from where you look at it. Which means that we're going to have a great tandem. We have a very interesting question here. If Rumi was alive right now, what would he tell us?
Руми.
Может, вначале прочтем?
Maybe we should read first. If Rumi was here, people were actually trying to put him into asylum. They would really want to do that. Because from the ancient times, there is a saying that there is no prophet in his own country. So the smartest people, the greatest minds, have always been treated badly by the crowd.
Из более, скажем, понятные четверостишие.
So there are some verses are really simple, but he often uses very difficult words in his verses. Omar Khayyam is also very deep in his ideas. Michael, so what do you say if in the future, we are going to spend some time, so we will ask our listeners, our audience, if they will allow us to explain something about the Eastern secret verses, because East has 3 or 4 ideas behind them. So when you are reading a verse, sometimes you get it wrong right away because you are not looking inside it. And when 4 lines are being translated, you understand all the deepest notions and images which are given by the East. So, and you can see the German technological side in that. So basically, so this pragmatic side, which is basically the German thing. So this is the pragmatic recommendation, an instruction how to train yourself. But there was little paper, and the people who were able to write those verses, they studied the highest mathematics. So Alisher Navai, Omar Khayyam, all of them have been studying it. And the founder of cybernetics, of algebra. So basically, cybernetics was created, this notion was created in Al-Khwarizm. So all of these scientists, are first of all mathematicians and poets. The 4 lines, the verses of Rumi, Amar Khayyam, Alisher Navai, Firdausi, and many other people. So basically, those are the instructions, encrypted instructions on how to train particular characteristics of your inner world, your inner strength. Let's say so a book, a manual to your fridge, to the TV set, and so on. So depending on the complexity of an object, the manual is going to be bigger or smaller. So the amount of lines is going to be different depending on the complexity. So let us cite Rumi in English. My friend is going to read in English because I myself am not. I have the same problem with English because I'm speaking, so to say, I'm speaking African English, so to say, so it's not English as it should be. So, and sometimes I'm joking, and I'm only the one who is understanding this.
Can't hear his heart. Cover him like an angry cloud over the moon. Dry tree, don't grow in that garden. Poor thing, left without the shade of a tree. Even if you are peril, don't separate from this love. Love is your father and your family. In the world of lovers, a deadly sickness strikes, each day more painful than the last. If you see the blush of love in someone's face, know that he is no longer merely mortal. If you see a reed flute banned by love,
If there's no trace of love, if there's no trace of love in his heart, cover him like an angry cloud over the moon. Dry tree, don't grow in that garden. Poor thing, left without the shade of a tree. Even if you're a pearl, don't separate from this love. Love is your father and your family. In the world of lovers, a deadly sickness strikes, each day more painful than the last. If you see the blush of love in someone's face, know that he is no longer merely mortal. If you see a reed flute bent by love, grab it. Squeeze the reed until you taste the sweetness sugar. Shams of Tabriz lures you into this trap. Don't look left or right. You can't resist. I would like to say that there are lots of thinkers in the East, and they are unknown to Europe, to the Western world. But there are sometimes even just as great titans as Rumi in the Eastern world, Alisher Navai, Rumi, Ashra, millions of them. And you can always find an instruction how to discover your potential, your inner potential, your strength, how to... Well, right now I need to stop because actually if I go on speaking, it's going to be a story from a psychiatric asylum. So, because, you know, we have to stop at the point where we are standing on the brink of revealing something which is unknown to most citizens of the cities, so to say. If I say Arizona does not exist, well, it just doesn't exist. So there is no Arizona. Which one of you is going to prove to me that Arizona actually exists? Nobody can do that. Because I'm telling those people, come on, prove it. They cannot do that. And if they're going to speak about Arizona, I will say, I don't believe it. Quite often, when you are in Arizona, so you are in Arizona right now, Michael, sometimes you won't be able to prove that there is such a place on this earth as Arizona. So I'm not going to go any further about it, I guess. So I have close ones here. So let me just tell you a little story. So on the left is a column, on the right is a column. I'm sitting here. When people are coming, I tell them, so you are coming from the streets and you have your worries and you are not ready to speak. So please concentrate from the right to the left. You should skip 10 or 15 butterflies, and they're saying, come on, it's winter, there are no butterflies. And I say, no, come on, find the butterflies, gather them. In 15 minutes, you have 15 minutes. So in 15 or 13 minutes, you will see those butterflies flying here. So let's say 10 butterflies flying there. And then I tell them, come on, walk around the hall. Can you see the butterflies? So you have seen, you have witnessed it all. So these people have witnessed it. So he has been a participant of it. So he did it himself. So then you send them to the different direction. And when those butterflies are flying, and landing on some object, I tell this person, now you are ready to speak. Because your heart is ready to hear. If you ordered the unexistent butterflies with your mind, so they would not understand it. So they do not hear your fantasies. If you would knock on the table and if you would shout at the butterflies, come on, fly, and so on, they do not hear. You have to be in resonance with the butterflies. And then the butterflies are going to feel this resonance and they're going to come to you. The exact amount of butterflies you need, the exact color you need. And it means that you have caught this string. And this is the string which actually weaves the success of life. So, and now you should wish to yourself the greatest future now that you are holding the string. And then look at the string of the events which is actually creating your life, how the string of events is going to what you desire. Our thoughts are material. We have been talking about fear, and fear is material. So, and our fantasies, what if? So, and it's going to work just like that in the string of events. Yes, I like fantasizing, but I'm not I'm not imagining things. I'm speaking to you as an academician, as a lab rat. So thoughts, ideas, emotions are materializing. And they are materializing, and it means that you, Michael, are going to speak from one view of the diamond, how to overcome the fears, and how one strength is creating both fear, which is destructive, and the creative force and the success in general. How one material is preparing those things, how to use this material. So you will speak about this, Michael, and I myself would like to look at the diamond from the other side. I will have my stupid explanations and so on, and our smart listener is going to understand something at last. There is a saying, one head is good and two heads is great.
Dr. Norbekov, I was checking recently, what is the number one poet, which is people are reading in Western countries? Who is the number one poet, in all the bookstores in America and Europe? Who is the number one selling poet? And it's Rumi. And and I myself also, I enjoy Rumi's poetry very much. But I have to say, I don't understand much of it. It feels very beautiful. And even what we understand, we think it's the greatest poetry that we are reading. But we have the feeling, I have the feeling, I think many of my friends, we know the translation is not exact. We know we can feel the translator was a good person and the translator tried to make something beautiful, but we feel like maybe there's something we are missing in the translation. And so I was hoping very much if I could request to you in the next month or 2 months, if we could meet again, meet together, and if we could, if you could explain to us, just take a few of the famous poems of Rumi and explain more deeply about them. And my friends here, even here today, they are translating some great poetry from
Майкл,
the Asian.
Майкл, вы сказали, как поэма, у меня это...
Michael, you said about the poems, and I was actually scared. I had this. I felt like it was labor, and so I was in labor, and I was scared because encrypting one rubai of Amar Hayam took me so much time. I actually spent 240 pages out of one verse, me and my mentor. And when I gave him the first edition, so to say, he simply threw it out and said, "You haven't seen anything. You haven't found anything." 240 pages of dry, pragmatic instruction. A poem. Oh, you cannot even imagine how hard it's going to be to encrypt it, to find the whole sense, whole meaning. Let us begin with the verse. Outside beauty is the flowers. They have great aroma. They have wonderful look, but the flower is not growing to make everybody around it happy. It is growing for the bees to gather from it, and for it to be basically to be reborn in honey. And the poems of Rumi are written in the same language, which has the same roots as my own language, my mother tongue. And it is easy for me to understand some ideas behind his words. I will do my best, really. I will do my best. I have mentors, even if I fail, I have mentors who are great academicians. So they are not PhDs, they are academicians, as they are. And there are people who know many concealed meanings of those words. So, for example, if Western people are reading Amar Hayam or Rumi or other Eastern poets, they encounter a word, the veil, or being drunk, or a beauty, so a wonderful beauty, a cup. But people from the city are reading it and think that some drunkard is actually talking about some wine, and he's being hugged by some lady. A drunkard was writing about let's say, a woman who is acting inappropriately. So, and he says, okay, a famous person, he is a thinker, and he's just like me. But in fact, one thing is the exterior, and it actually reflects the ideas of a regular person. A woman in so one of the meanings of the concealed language, so to say, is a woman is soul, and cup means the mind. Being drunk in this concealed language means meditating. So basically, it's when you are reaching the deepest state of meditation, and through this deepest meditation, you are reaching this, the main mystic purpose, this goal of ecstasy. And when you are touching upon this ecstasy, which is also called the Creator, the God, and this is the feeling which gives you the feeling of being drunk in the beginning. But this drunk state is not going to last for long. So basically, the restaurant, the pub, so to say, where drunkards are gathering, the second meaning of this word is a place where lamas are training, where they are in the deepest state of meditation. They are training. So those who are bringing the wine, the first words for it. So wine, the second word, the second meaning of the wine is the truth. So, and so the person who is actually giving you wine means that it's a person who gives you truth. So these are just the first level of the words. So the next level of these words is actually concealing the recommendations on how to train in order to give your cup to the person who is going to pour the wine into it. So that technology, basically this is technology. So East is pragmatic. East is exceptionally pragmatic, but on the outside, it is beautiful. It is not pragmatic on the outside. And in order to not to lose this pragmatism, so it is beautiful like this. So world has many manuals and instructions. So the fridges, the microwaves, the spoons, and so on. So you have a library of great works behind you. Do you agree? So can you find a person who is actually collecting the manuals to the fridges? So is there a library with the manuals to the fridges? So in the United States or anywhere else, basically, you get rid of the instruction and the manual along with the box from this fridge. So that is why the Eastern poems are beautiful. People are reading the beautiful poems, and basically these are the instructions, concealed instructions, and they are kept at their homes. So this is the simplified implementation.
I have a proposal for both of us. I have a proposal. In the next month or two, all of us, we have to make plans how to come out of the virus. What are we going to do after the virus? All of us are facing a new world. The world is completely different than it was before. And all of us in the next month, in the next 2 months, we have to find some deep truth which will help us to succeed in the new world. And I have a proposal to Dr. Norbekov, if you agree. I think there are great poetry in your tradition. Sufi tradition, and there is a great poetry in my tradition, Tibet tradition, India tradition, and it would be very exciting, I think, to make a plan, a roadmap for the next year or 2 years. If we can have 4 or 5 meetings together online, and we use poetry as the weapon. We use poetry as the gun, and we make a plan for the future. We help people to make a plan for their future. And you know, you said we are both crazy. I think we are both crazy. So people will ask you, people will ask me, what do you propose for the future after the virus? How can we succeed? And how about we say poetry? We suggest poetry of Rumi, and we also have great poetry in my tradition. So let's get together online and pull out some poetry guns and shoot the future and see what we do. Do you agree to my proposal? Okay.
Не только согласен, не только руками. Как у нас говорят, руками.
Agree with you. So I'm supporting you with both my hands, my legs, and everything, because we have things to share. Because we are quite grown up, so we are just like a tree in the autumn. So, and we are giving fruits, and the tree which gives fruits does not seek anything from the life. It just wants to share its fruits.
Yeah.
Michael, you are really modest, and I'm not. Sometimes I'm really not modest at all. I know many things, and I know that your knowledge is going to be so useful to people all around. I am confident
Chat, in the
that
chat,
we are going to be
put up
useful
a
to
link.
you, for somebody in the world. We are going to be useful.
Хорошо. Хорошо. Интернет обрывается.
Yes, we have some problems with the connection.
Все. Угу.
Можем сказать до свидания, Мирзакарим.
Basically, we can say goodbye in this case, can we? Or
Michael.
So I think we stop there, maybe.
Огромнейшее спасибо, Michael. Огромнейшее спасибо.
Michael, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this evening. So there are words in Russian that the first pancake is never round in its shape. It's going to be something else. So and I'm sure that in future we will have even better meetings. So all the best to you. Stay healthy. So all the best to you and your close ones, and all the success to you.
And we'll put a link in the chat. There'll be a link in the chat, and we'll send out some information also. If people would like to participate in the big war of poetry against future plans, then you're welcome to. We will send you some information. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Спасибо большое.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Спасибо. Всего хорошего.
Thank you. All the best to you.
Здоровья. Okay. We break it there. Okay.